take a part down the middle, pin one side out. Okay, with the inverted bob, there's a couple of different things you can do. You can keep it very moderate. You already have the bob line. Or you can freehand and let your holding angle become your perimeter line. If you use your holding angle from your perimeter guide, it gives you a real soft line. I'm going to use this line for teaching purposes, but generally rule of thumb is I cut it free-handed. If it's hair this long, I hold it out at a 45 and I cut it. Then as I go through, that line becomes my guideline all the way through. And the hairline takes its natural shape, which makes it look really, really soft and really pretty. Notice as I go up, I move the hair. Nine times out of 10, most people would have took the volumizer and pinned it up out of the way. That's when you're going to create separation. It should become part of the line that you're cutting. What form have I just cut? 5. If I had went from the hairline 0 to 45, I would have cut 4. But being that I'm going from a 45 to a 90 traveling guide, I'm doing 5. Make sense? This is what made people quit cutting Volumizer. Is they got into there and they went, oh, hell. And that's when you got to realize the conglomerate of hair that's in that position has to be buttered out. You feel a little bit more comfortable cutting it? No, yes, maybe. I think the next 2 haircuts will get you more comfortable than anything. You can do center, work to the right, or center and work to the left. It's up to you, whatever you feel more comfortable with, because you're going to do the other side no matter what. It's the same, except for me, one side's going to be different because I took half her hair out. Right. When I cut that one, I cut where I hit. My holding angle became my hanging length. You can see how soft it is, and where the back comes right behind the ear, it's soft. Where this one's going to be fuller. Once I get to right behind the ear, stationary guide. And I mean right behind the ear. It's also a round of the head that happens right there. Okay, she has no hair there. So if I continue this, what's going to happen? I'm going to end up with strings. When I have a nice line, it's coming like this, and then it's going to look like hell. So I take this, and I know I can change my angle where? Right. So here's the round. There's my guide here. There's my interior guide there. What happens is this. You marry the two forms together here, and you separate them here. If this was all one color, you would not be able to tell anything. You get it? There's no way in hell that you can tell that's happened under there. That's how I cut Kay's hair. She's on the video on our website. She has no sides. She'd been wearing a wig for 12 years, and the wig had worn off all the sides. When you start buttering on the side that has no hair underneath, you got to be very careful on the outside edge. So all the stuff you want to do is in the interior. Now, if this hair was all one blonde color, could you tell it? Not at all. You can sort of tell where the transition stops because of the volume, the color. But if this is all blonde or all pink, this line would continue on, and you wouldn't know that that happened under there. And it can go higher. Kay's was all the way up to the round of her head. So I had to be very careful on cutting that day because I had a video camera behind me and I had a photographer shooting it as I went on it. But if you always remember the round of the head, you can change the angle. But you've got to marry them somewhere. They've got to have a flow. And the flow is on the interior, not the exterior. Does that make sense?